Master?
Anakin. Good luck.
I didn't expect to see you so soon.
Anakin.
Anakin.
Between worlds, then, you know, it's not about time travel. It's really not about time travel at all.
I believe that.
It's just about a place where everything comes together and you hear different things echoing throughout time
Is not behind
This is our
you.
most desperate hour.
because it's all fluid in that moment, in that place. It's not this material thing that's
Episode 4 of Ahsoka, Part 4, The Fallen Jedi, has got the whole internet potentially liking Star Wars again. Even some people saying, yo, Dave Filoni is saving Star Wars. He's making his own multiverse. He's creating a new timeline that doesn't ruin anything that's already there. Really? I don't think that's what's happening here. And the world between worlds is not some kind of multiverse. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest Star Wars person. I don't know that much about Star Wars, but I want to talk about this because there's literally a video of Dave Filoni explaining what the worlds between worlds really is. But then there's some people that just think they know what they're on about all the time. So nobody knows what's actually going to happen. But for Disney to air in theaters and cinemas, episode 5 of Ahsoka next week in the theaters, that is something big's going to happen for sure. And yeah, the leaks are out. Don't get me wrong, and the leaks were actually right about a lot of stuff in episode 3 and in episode 4. So yo, what is freaking good YouTube Wars here? If you are new around here, welcome. Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, Kaiju, Monsterverse, Marvel, DC, and occasionally talking Star Wars. This Ahsoka episode has gone viral. Like, everyone has an opinion on whether it be Reddit or TikTok or Instagram or even Facebook. So subscribe if you're new. Check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Also check us out on Twitter, WarStewG or X.com. So yesterday, I looked on Twitter and we had one of the usual suspects saying what the next episode was going to be of Ahsoka, which sounds so far-fetched. If you've got this far, you would have listened to Dave Filoni literally explaining how the world between worlds works. It's not a multiverse. So, popular... I don't know why this account's popular. My Time to Moon Hello. The concept of multiverse in Star Wars will be explored through the worlds between worlds. We'll get a glimpse of that in Ahsoka episode 5. The idea of a deep dive into future. Someone's clearly missed what that actually means, because if you look at all the quote tweets, literally everyone's like, Star Wars is done, man. Someone needs to explain to her what the frickin' hell's going on. The world between worlds has to do with the multiverse. It's a spiritual nexus. Why do so many people just completely miss all of that very obvious themes and symbolism throughout Star Wars? Stop applying video games and comic logic. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you quickly just Google what Worlds and Worlds is, also known as the Verge's Scatter, was a mistress plane within the Force and served as a collection of doors and pathways existing between time and space, linking all moments in time together. Interesting. So even though it's allegedly set in stone what the worlds between worlds actually mean, there is a lot of callbacks, literal scenes from Rebels that ironically coincide with that ending scene when Ahsoka magically woke up here and it was Anakin and everyone's like, yo, he's cut Darth Vader's lightsaber. The music, it's not actually Anakin, but he's got the scar. We don't actually know. But I think this is the best definition here. The mythical realm connects all of time and space, creating a convolute between the living and dead. Those who control the plane would possess mastery over all of existence, but gaining access has proven an unexpected challenge. Darth Sidious. So what's interesting is if you actually use the internet and use Reddit, the leaks were actually true about quite a lot of things. Really were. Everyone's saying who Morocco was going to be. Such a huge character. But the actual leaks said it would literally be done. So to me, this is very fascinating because, like I said, I'm not a massive Star Wars person, but I like to go over leaks, and the leaks were actually true. And it literally said that Morocco was just turned to dust, and Anakin appears in episode 5, 7, and 8. I think the theories are very interesting. Episode 5 will be huge. I mean, even episode 3. It got so much right. Ahsoka has some sort of near-death experience at the end of episode 4 that is ambiguous, and she wakes up and she's like, yo, is that Anakin? Is it a Force ghost? We don't know. No one actually knows. C-3PO appears in episode 7. No mention of Luke. Zeb does not appear. See, these are interesting because this literally was posted 10 days ago. There was confusion about Morocco's reveal that he's made of smoke, and that turns out to be true. A Thrawn, who they're actually apparently going to see. And Ezra will appear in more than one episode. Rex shows up voice only. Hayden, the agent, looks perfect next episode. Interesting. See, it's always interesting when leaks turn out to be true. There is a very in-depth leak out there which goes over a lot of stuff. So careful, spoilers, I don't want to ruin your life. We're briefly going to go over these. Thrawn shows up in the first time in episode 6. Anakin is shown as a hologram in episode 7. CP3O, episode 7. Interesting. Ezra and Thrawn ended up in the new beyond or new space. The region views and uses Force differently than how our existing Star Wars stories have in the past. So the internet seems to believe, and this is pretty much out there, is there's a galaxy that we've all known for Star Wars, but there's also lots of other galaxies that have not been explored at all, which makes everything really darn interesting. I mean, this leak is actually so actual in depth, so we're not going to go over it. It's just be like a 25-minute video. So episode 5. I've heard episode 5 would explore the relationship between Ahsoka and her master. Interesting. A lot supposed happens in episode 5 that pays off from the animated show and some of the Mandalorian Star Wars mag, which is pretty reliable. Rumor, Anakin speaks directly to Ahsoka through the world between worlds whenever this sequence takes place. Interesting. Ahsoka will see glimpse of herself in other times and eras via the world between worlds, which would make sense. There is a version in her late teens. Interesting. Ahsoka in her white robe and several others. Ahsoka has a different production code name for different eras of her story. Different actresses will play her for these moments. There is a young actress playing Clone Wars era. Ahsoka is not Ashley nor MSW to be confirmed voice actor, the young version. Apparently there's some Clone Wars flashbacks. Interesting. According to Bespin Bulletin, sources confirm Anakin shows up in episode 5 in Clone Wars era. Hayden will be sporting his armor from the Star Wars Clone Wars. There is only one flashback scene with Hayden de-aged for his appearance. Anakin de-aging is perfect, so don't worry about CGI. He's not dead wrong about Rex. Just a heads up, my friend works for the VFX studio. It will not only be his voice, from what I see, seems like an awful lot of work to just waste. So I can confidently, it's basically just getting at that Rex will not only be a voice, but that says wild rumor. Interesting. I've heard rumblings from live action's Siege of Mandalore being part of the episode, even a quick glimpse of the Battle of Teeth. Interesting. Yo, these are wild. So there's an underwater sequence, apparently. Interesting. It seems to get really spicy in episode 6, episode 7, episode 8. Interesting. Thrawn and Morgan forces. Big battle in the distant galaxy. Season finale. Anakin shows up as a Force ghost. Smiles and waves. Interesting. Zeb does not appear. Luke is not in the show. Somehow Vader returns. The team who brought Vader to the screen are Obi-Wan Kenobi will be reuniting for another live action project, likely Ahsoka making Star Wars. They're very reliable. Well, this is very fascinating. Dave Filoni is on the orange lightsaber of Balin and Shin. I made it a little bit more orange. That was very intentional. Just identifying a little bit of something that may not be what you think. Oh, they are beginning. They are the beginning. Quote from Screen Rant. Ahsoka and I go at it a few times. Ray Stevenson. So sources say that the good guys fall in the first half of Ahsoka whilst on a mission to rescue Ezra Bridger, which has already happened. Ahsoka and Sabine seem to inherit a second mission to stop Grand Admiral Thrawn from returning to the core of the known galaxy. Thrawn does return to the core of the known galaxy at what I believe is the climax of the 8th episode and the final episode of the season. A moment described shows him exiting his ship, I think, with his forces before him. Thrawn takes in the moment and looks at his allies. Sources have said Thrawn reveals in the moment and promises a reckoning is coming. So we've gone over a bunch of the leaks between episode 5 and episode 8. Briefly, I could say I don't know that much about Star Wars. I watch most of the Star Wars stuff. I've never read the comics. I don't know much about the lore. I just like talking about stuff that I come across on the internet and things that I watch. So like always, guys, this will probably be a one-off video, but maybe I might review the next episode, depends how good it is. But apparently it's supposed to be absolute fire. Let me know, do you think any of this stuff is true? We don't know, but we'll find out next week. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarsStew. Check us out on Twitter, WarsStewG. It's never my intention to ruin your experience. So if you click into a leaks video, basically your own fault. So like always, guys, I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.